morning, Bongani, my good friend. So nice to see you, even though if it is just virtual or online. Tell me,
Yes.
how are you and your family doing?
My family is doing very well, Ruan. Thank you very much for asking. My wife and my kids are all okay. And I hope yours as well is okay. You know, your
Yes.
beautiful wife and your little ones, they're okay?
Yes, we're doing fine.
Excellent, excellent.
Lockdown poses its own challenges, but as you
Yeah,
know, the kids are more agile and adaptable than we as adults are.
indeed, indeed.
Most of
That's
the
what we
time.
find as well. Yeah.
So, my friend, you are the CEO and founder of the Ulwazi Group of companies.
Yes, yes.
Do you mind just telling us a little bit, what is it that you guys do, and how many people do you employ?
Thank you very much, Ruan. Ulwazi Group has got mainly three entities that are operating entities under it. Okay, we are in different sectors. One being the facilities management sector. Okay, and then of course the second one being the cleaning and hygiene sector. All right, and then the third one being consulting and events management sector. Okay, that's where we are. All right. Insofar as the size of our company, currently we have 109 rather employees in the company. All right. And out of the 109 employees, they are spread in particular within one province at the present moment, which is Gauteng province. Okay. And that's basically the extent of our company.
So, Bongani, lockdown and the coronavirus, COVID-19, I'm sure it's affected you guys and your industry.
Yes, indeed. It has affected us quite a lot, in fact. You know, and with the extension now that is on the cards, it doesn't make it easier, unfortunately. You know, and we had to scale down a lot because we are working with most of our operation is human element operation. When you look at in particular on security services and then also on cleaning services, we are in different sites of our clients operating within those sites. So some of the areas which we are operating in, unfortunately, had to be closed down because of the lockdown. So invariably meaning that our employees couldn't work in those sites. So they are on lockdown, they are sitting at home, basically doing nothing as everybody else is affected. And in the process, it's difficult because we are all bleeding. I can tell you, this coronavirus, this COVID-19 situation is affecting the whole world. You know, it's affecting us as well in South Africa, you know, and we've caught the flu as well. And unfortunately, it's affecting business across, you know, all spheres. You know, it's affecting us as well. And especially being small business, you know, we are seriously affected, probably more than the big business can feed it, because we are a small business. Being small business, to a very great extent, you're almost operating from hand to mouth, and there's few savings that you might probably be having, depending, of course, how old this also your company has been, you know. But yeah, we are soldiering on. It has been having a negative impact overall in our company. For instance, I can give you an idea. In our situation with the 109 staff complement that we have, only about a quarter of those are currently working as essential service. Only a quarter of them are working. You know, so you can imagine, basically we're looking at about 25 of them working, because we are 109. Because out of the 109, about 7 of them are office-bound personnel, you know, at our head office here in Centurion. And that's basically that. Even us as well, our head office has been closed. I go there rarely, because if there's some extreme need that I go there. 2 of our managers are looking after the current operation. So as and when it's required, probably I see them. once in 5 days or once in 3 days, just to catch up, also just to assist them in whatever they need assistance. And basically that's that. So yeah, we have scaled down tremendously.
Yeah, no, our prayers and thoughts go out to you, and especially
Thank you very much, Ruan.
Especially you as the leader, in front, responsible or feeling responsible, for so many people and families as well. Has there been any lessons you've learned, maybe for post-lockdown, you'll start implementing or start doing business differently?
Indeed. Ruan, I think this has been a huge eye-opener for everyone, and especially for us as small businesses. I think one of the things that is very key to sustainability of small business moving forward is to diversify one, to make sure that you don't throw your eggs in one basket, lest it crashes, everything then goes down, okay? So that's one lesson. I think during this lockdown period, for me personally, also, I'm a spiritual person. I feel like God is talking to me, is saying something to me as well. He's saying diversify and look at other opportunities where you can produce, where you can manufacture. I think those are the main sectors one needs to apply his mind into. For instance, one of those will be agriculture. Food sector, you'll never go wrong. And that's one of the, of the areas that I'm vigorously, exploring, because there is huge potential in that area. The areas of also water production, water management, water, bottled water and supply of such. You're looking into that. We are looking into that as a company. I'm looking into that seriously. I know there are many people also might be involved in that, but I'm looking at a niche of a market where one can provide such, where there is still a demand of such. So one, after this lockdown, surely you'll have to do things differently, slightly differently, if not very differently, okay? Because this has pinched all of us, from an angle or from a direction which was never expected. Nobody expected that COVID-19 will hit us the way it did, okay? And not to say that, we took it for granted or nothing was ever done, but the moment it arrived, it hit our shores. I think our government did everything best that they could have done, and ordinarily, and our president took a leadership position and was very decisive in putting us into a lockdown. I think to a great extent, it has assisted lives, it assisted us as a nation. If you look at currently our fatality rate, is very low, and which is good. And also the infection as well rate is still low, which is good. We need to contain that. Coming back again once to your question, post-lockdown, we need to do things differently. We need to think beyond the ordinary. That's what I think. We are built for that, and we have been created for that. So we need to just think slightly different, but even think harder. It's ain't tough. It's just that we are not thinking differently. It might look tough, yes, in our eyes, but you know what? We just have to think a bit differently, and I'm sure we will survive and we'll get out of the situation. And of course, moving forward as businesses, we need to make sure that we manufacture a lot of our own products. There is still a lot of products that are coming out from other countries into our South Africa. And yet, if you look at, in particular with agriculture, we've got masses and magnitude of arable land which is suitable for many agricultural commodities. Why can't we explore that as a country? Why can't we unite and explore that as people in South Africa? I mean, there is plenty of land that is currently sitting with traditional healers, or rather traditional leaders, okay, in our country, and which land is underutilized. Can't we go and identify those pieces of land and partner with people that understand the trade, the agricultural trade, that can assist us in making sure that we cultivate the land. We need to make sure that we produce in our country, and we produce for other nations as well, and produce for the world, And in so doing, I can tell you, you'll never run dry. Food is one of those commodities every day, whether there is a lockdown or not, whether there is a virus or not, whether there is a disaster, there is always a requirement for food. So you never go wrong with food.
I agree with you, Bongani, and I believe that, you know, I mean, we can agree that times have never been so uncertain and so volatile as it is now. But that being said, even though it's dark, in the darkest hour, the light can shine the brightest. And I believe that now is the time for us as the private sector, and especially Christian business leaders, to stand up, to be the salt, to be the light, and, you know, spend time with God and trust Him for new creative business ideas. And I believe there's new businesses going to be birthed from this difficult time, and even new patents being registered. So I would encourage you with this scripture, James 1, verse 2-4, which I'm sure you'll know well. And in the Amplified translation, it says, "Consider it nothing but joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you fall into various trials or difficulties. Be assured that the testing of your faith through experience produces endurance, leading to spiritual maturity and inner peace. And let endurance have its perfect result, and do a thorough work, so that you may be perfect and completely developed in your faith, lacking in nothing." So even though this is a difficult time, I want to encourage you to find that joy in the circumstances, in the midst of the storm. May it be like the disciples, you know, while they were in that boat, they thought they're at the end of their own strength in the midst of that storm, but they saw Jesus approaching, and they experienced, you know, that calming of the wind and the waters, and they saw the miracle of walking on water. And may God also help you to walk on water, and may there be miracles released. As a Christian business leader, as also a former Life of Leadership alumnus, is there anything the Lord is saying to you, encouraging you with during this time?
Yes, indeed, Ruan, thank you very much for that. And I think for me, there are two scriptures probably that I want to share with you as well. All is not lost, gloom and doom, basically. You know, God is saying something to us. I believe there are greater things that are still coming out of us. You know, as a nation, we need to stick together. As a nation, we need to pray more often and pray hard. You know, I think in us, there is so much of potential. You know, God has created us and given us certain seeds, which we call talents, which we call our gifting. You know, have we found our gifting? That's a question. What solution are you coming up? Because God created you as His child, you know, and gave you a solution to a particular problem, which He also knew about in advance. Now you need to find that problem. What is it exactly? Maybe this coronavirus is one of those problems that you were destined to solve. Okay, you need to find your seed. I always say that you need to find your seed. You see, when God created man, on Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, He said, let's create men in our image, in our likeness, right? Now, if God can create man in His image, in our likeness, meaning that you also are a creator of your own. You are a creator, because remember, He created you in His likeness. Now, likeness meaning that what God might have done in His supernatural being, right? You might not be able to do, but you are able to do certain things as well as a creator of those things. Now, those things need to be created by you through your seed bearing that God has given you. All right? So you need to find that, because once you found your seed, let me tell you, you're not going to hunger. You're not going to have any famine. I'm telling you, your seed is your ticket to your success. Your seed is your ticket to your wealth. Your seed is your ticket to liberty. I will say that. I want to take you once again to Psalm 23, the Psalms of David. I love the Psalms of David, in particular Psalm 23 on verse number 4, where it says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou rod and thou art and thy rod, they comfort me. We might be going through that season, okay? We are going through, right? The valley of the shadow of death. We are going through. We are experiencing coronavirus. We are not sitting. We are not resting in the valley of the shadow of death, but we are going through. That's what David says. So we must take this as well as a season that we have to just go through it. We are not going to dwell in it, okay? We shouldn't fear, because he says himself through the Psalm of David, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, right? Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So we need to draw our strength from that, right? This is a temporary setback. It's not here to kill completely us. It's not here to end the world. It's not the end of the world, all right? We just have to move to the next level of thinking. We have to move to the next level of doing things. On Philippians chapter 4, verse 3, it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And once again, I want to tell you, you can do everything and all things through Christ who will strengthen you, even during this period. Post-lockdown, yes, child of God, you can do all things through him that strengthens you. Remember, 2 days ago, we were saying he has risen. Indeed, he has risen to restore you, to restore me, to restore us. Whatever that has been lost will be restored. You just have to cast your eyes on him. It says on Psalm 21, or 121 rather, I look up to the hills. Where will my help come from? My help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth. So meaning that my help is not going to come from you. It's not going to come from my brother, my sister. It's not going to come from another human being who has been created in his likeness. My help is going to come from him, because he's the creator of heaven and earth. He is, after all, my creator. Thank you, Ruan, and may God bless you, and may God bless South Africa, all business sector. May they unite during this period and seek God's intervention and ask for God to assist us, to give us wisdom to traverse through this challenging period. It's only just part one challenge, okay? It's only part one season, okay? It's soon gonna come to pass. We're already experiencing and hearing from national media platforms, be it TV, be it radio, that already in some of the countries that have been hugely affected and hugely been negatively impacted by this COVID-19 virus, already some of the lockdown guidelines and regulations are being, slightly, moved and slightly released as well, So it's coming to us as well. It's coming to us. We just have to do the right things. We just have to stay home and stay safe for now. And I can assure you, so many talents are going to come out during this period, because this is a good period. Instead of just sitting at home and doing nothing, you need to be asking God, what exactly are you saying to me? This is a good time, actually. Whilst it's family time as well, it's forced upon us, by the way, by this coronavirus, but take the advantage of it, look at the positive side of it. How best can I utilize this time for my benefit, for my family's benefit, for the nation's benefit? What is it that I can solve as a problem that currently is affecting this nation? And that would be your seed. Cast your eyes unto him, for he cares about you. Thank you, Ruan.
Amen. Bongani, thank you so much for those encouraging words. We pray for you and your family, and also for Ulwazi Group of companies. May you come through this and stronger than you were before. Thank you for encouraging us and blessing us as well.
Thank you very much. And wishing you all the best in your endeavors as well, your business, your company, and life work leadership will support you continuously, because we believe in life work leadership. And also, please send our warmest regards to your wife and to your little ones. May God bless you.
Thank you, Bongani.
Thank you very much. Ciao. Ciao.